We had a comment recently and someone said it must be really good that you both do the same thing and you both do all the training and you both do the racing, and it must be good to be a couple who trains and races together. And it kind of got us thinking about what are the pros and what are the cons of being a couple who train and race together. So what we're doing in this video is we haven't talked about this, about what each other's going to say, but we're going to film each other separately, or film ourselves separately, listing what we think are the pros and the cons of being a couple who train and race together. And then we're going to put it together and see what that is. So we thought also, while we're going to do that, if you want to just go down into the comments and say what you think are the pros and cons of being a couple and training and racing together, or what's the pros and cons of, if you're in a situation where you're not a couple and one of you trains and races and one doesn't, what's the good and the bad of that?
Want me to say anything?
What have you got to say?
Am I just sitting here?
Yeah. Do you want to say anything?
No. How's that look? Okay. So pros and cons of training together. Actually, I need to shut the door because Amanda will hear. All right. Amanda and I are quite different with our speeds and ability. Me being male, of course, means I'm a little bit quicker in all three disciplines. So that in itself is probably the first hurdle in training together.
So number one is very much a YouTube kind of thing. When we do an event and we both do the same event, we don't actually have anyone to film us. And also, like, if you relate that to not having YouTube, then you don't have someone there always to cheer you on. If only one of us was racing, then you know that the other person would be there to cheer you on or to film it.
Amanda has natural endurance, so she can go at a certain pace most of the day where I can't. She'll often have a 3-hour plus ride that I'll do with her, but 3 hours is kind of pushing the friendship a little bit for me as far as a training session. That's a con for me, is I don't love the long stuff as much.
Another one is managing emotions when one of us has a good race and one of us has a bad race, because it's been rare. I'm not even sure if I can think of a time when we've both had a really good race. You're kind of buzzing and you want to talk about it and you want to, just keep reliving the event, but then the other person hasn't had a really good race, so you don't want to do it so much that it's kind of negative for them.
I guess a con is I feel Amanda gets frustrated sometimes because she maybe feels like she's holding me up, but she's not, because if we choose to train together, I know that I'm going to be going a little bit easier. That's probably more a con for her. Obviously,
Tim is a better swimmer, a better bike rider, and a better runner. So mentally competing with someone, and it's probably something that I did way, at the beginning of our relationship more than now, that, you'd go for a swim and then he'd pass you, 2, 3, 4 times, and it would just be like, oh, I'm so slow, saying that kind of thing. So I think also hasn't been as much of an issue now that I have a coach. I'm much better. I train much better when I have a coach. I compare myself too much to him, and that's just a negative trait on my behalf. The pros way outweigh the cons.
Let me answer the question. The pros of training together is I like hanging out with her, so that's a definite pro. I like spending time with Amanda, which is good because we recently got married.
So you guys know that we travel a lot, and one of the biggest pros about training and racing as a couple is having someone with you who knows how important it is to you to train. So even though we might drive 500 kilometers during a day and we're in the car all day, having Tim there who knows that I still need to go for a swim or I still need to go for a run, and how important that is to me, is probably one of the biggest pros.
What I do like is if Amanda has a long ride, which she always does, I can now put my new gravel wheels on my road bike, which are slight knobblies and low pressure, and ride with her and still get a good workout. And
it's so good having someone who actually understands how much of a priority training is for you. So knowing that, okay, you've got a 2.5 hour ride, cool, go and do your 2.5 hour ride. You know.
In the pool, it's easy because we'll take a lane for the two of us, and our main pool's 25 metres. And obviously I just pass Amanda, but that's no big deal. We're sort of always crossing each other and it feels like you're training together. Not that swimming's very social as far as conversation's concerned, but that's a bonus. I do enjoy when we swim together.
And also having someone to train with. Even though we do train at different paces, just having someone there, okay, we're going for a swim, so we both go to the pool together, and having someone there going out for a ride. We've worked out a way that we can both train hard and do our own session, but still be able to train at the same place. So
the other thing is, a pro is, because we love travelling and we do so many events all around Australia, is we can travel to it together and camp in our van. So that's a big pro, is the fact that because we train and race together, we can travel.
You know, having Tim around to share the races with, because, you know, whether it's good or bad, you still want to talk about it, and having someone who actually understands those good feelings of racing well and the bad feelings of racing poorly. You know, having someone who really understands exactly what you're going through is perfect. It's really good.
While we were watching the video, while Amanda edits it, I thought of another one, a very important one. The biggest pro is after we go training and we're absolutely stuffed, particularly me, and I just want to lay on the couch all day. Amanda understands that. I think if you're not with a fellow athlete, after big training sessions, particularly on weekends, you're just stuffed. You don't want to go wash the clothes or clean the house. You just want to do nothing. So we understand each other when that happens. Again, that's more for me. But I'm not sure if I've really answered the questions there, but pros and cons, there it is. That's a difficult one. Where are you going to do yours? Oh, it's still recording.
So they're ours, and love to hear what yours are. Thanks for training with us.